Obama bombs Iraq and traps himself. It's hard to tell what the military impact of the U.S. bombing of ISIS, the Islamic State of Iraq and Syria, will be. But the one thing that's pretty clear is the political implications for Obama. Not only is he a candidate who was elected on a pledge to end the war in Iraq, and now he's escalating it, going back in after the United States has pulled out, but there were hallmarks in the statement that he made announcing the bombing that show that he's likely wading deeper and deeper into this trap. At one point he said there's a person in a village in Iraq who texted to somebody and it made the newspapers, "No one is coming to help us." And Obama said with appropriate swagger and macho, "We're coming to help you. You know, the Yanks are coming." And he also spoke about the importance of keeping ISIS from capturing the Kurdish capital or a nearby city which had an ancient religious sect in it. And then he spoke about how ISIS was barbaric, that's his word, and practiced what he called genocide. It's nice to see Obama passionate about human rights somewhere, but this may not be the place. Because in setting those military objectives of those cities not falling, he's basically implicitly committing himself to make sure they don't fall. When you identify a specific target like that, you better make sure you succeed. And if you fail, you become the world's laughingstock. And Obama is not prepared to put boots on the ground. He's not prepared to do what you have to do to make sure he saves those cities. He's going to try and do it from the air, which may or may not be possible. And if it's not possible and those cities fall, Obama's going to look pretty stupid and pretty weak. And that itself may impel him to take additional action. But more importantly, when he starts talking about the humanitarian cost, and he starts talking about that lonely villager who said nobody's here to help us, he arouses the moral fervor of the country. And if he doesn't follow through on that, he lets it down. I mean, he can't on one hand say these are barbarians who are killing women and children and wiping out an entire community and an entire country, and then on the other hand do nothing when the airstrikes don't work. He's got to do something now. Before he could have stayed out, before he could have said this isn't my problem, we did our best, we gave it 10 years, we gave it 3,000 lives, and now it's up to the Iraqis. He could have done that, but he didn't. And now I think he's captured. The other problem is that Obama had been saying we won't intervene militarily until Iraq reforms its own government. There are three countries here, the Sunnis, the Shiites, and the Kurds. And until you have a government that represents all three equally, much like they did in Bosnia, when Bosnia and Serbia and Croatia basically set up a three-way government, unless you do that here, nobody's going to feel that they've been dealt with justly, and it's an invitation for the war to continue. And what happened was we tried to set up that government, and then the Shiites moved in and took everything over and shut everybody else out. Well, that's not an acceptable solution, and the leverage the U.S. had to get them to do right and to fix their government was that we wouldn't intervene militarily unless they did. And now Obama's intervened militarily without their doing it. He's given up his leverage. He's been bluffed out. So this is going to be a hard situation for Obama to rectify. And the damage is almost exclusively among his Democratic voters, the same people that voted with him because he was the peace candidate. And he sure doesn't look like one now. Thanks for watching.